The 1950s were a decade of rigid social conformity. People were expected to look, talk, act, and think like everybody else. It was only a matter of time before that cracked up.
The curtain has gone up on another unique attraction, ska music.
With all of my heart, that it is a contributing factor to our juvenile delinquency of today. I 100% believe it. Why I believe that is because I know how it feels when you sing it. I know what it does to you.
Ska. Yeah, ska is ours. It's for the weird kids.
Wow, there's a music out there where it just makes me feel positive, it makes me feel good, and when the right band does it, you feel it.
Welcome to Bro Taste This.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Bro Taste This, Vida Vino, where we break down wine, food, news, and our childhood trauma. I am your friendly neighborhood host, Juan motherfucking Barbosa. With me today is legendary wingman, best man, co-host, philanderer, Golden Corral. Woo! Joining us today will be our first artists or musical guests in studio, Uriah and Tim. Uriah,
2/3. What is it,
wave to the crowd,
contact
Uriah.
time, right?
2/5 of contact high, yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, who are two representatives here, representing an incredibly fun, high-energy local band known as Contact High. You can find them on Spotify, YouTube, under their self-named EP, Contact High. And yeah, so anyways,
I mean, you also
boys,
have a bunch of other videos on YouTube too. I mean, that's just the contact.
We got
EP.
some live videos that are posted on Facebook from like early shows. We don't really do a lot of it because we don't have anybody taking videos for us. We forget, so. But
you're wrapped up in the music in the show, you know.
Yeah. We don't worry about that really. Like same thing with pictures; they're always blurry.
Hell yeah! Welcome to the show,
Yeah,
boys.
I'm happy to be
Thank
here.
you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
It's technically our first actual podcast, so this is kind of cool.
Oh,
wow.
And I just want to thank both of you guys too for having us too. Finally, me and Barbosa have been talking about this for a while.
Yeah.
So
We are more than honored to pop your cherry.
yeah, loving popping the cherries all day.
Yes.
I guess
very Catholic of you. Catholic.
Yeah.
Very Catholic.
You're not really Catholic, are you? You're Catholic. You're Catholic.
Adjacent.
Yeah.
Adjacent.
He's modern Catholic.
Yeah.
Modern Catholic.
Devout. Catholics always got an evil side. There's always something going on.
There's always something under.
Yeah.
But you know what's
Under
not
that
evil, though?
smile.
Beer.
Beer's
Brewery.
not evil.
That's right. That's right. Today is going to be a much more beer-centered episode. To those of us who have been listening from the beginning, we usually kind of sip on a bottle of wine and chit-chat about various different subjects throughout the night.
And
Today is going
depending
to
how
be
good the episode's going, it's either one bottle or two bottles.
exactly, Phil. Good point. Today is going to be we're going to be working our way through a Lakefront Brewery Variety 12-pack. At this point, I am drinking an Eastside Dark Lager. I am personally a huge fan of like black beers, dark beers. Basically,
a lot of those can be good.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just like that creamy, like almost like that creamy mouthfeel. I
Got
think
like
it
the
is.
roasted
Yeah.
malts in there.
Yeah,
more
I think
oats for like heavy
and especially
attention.
during the winter. Like, oh man, I'm already drinking that stuff at least once during the summer.
It's
but
snuggly beer.
If you give me an excuse to drink it, I'll drink it more. You know?
If I'm correct, is it Uriah or is it Tim that has a history in brewery?
I brewed for a while.
You brewed for a while.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
brewed for a while. Yeah.
You can appreciate the craftsmanship that goes into a nice
Oh, sure.
dark
There's a lot of work that goes into it. So
nice dark beer.
yeah, it was a fun time. I still admire a lot of the brewers around here. They put on good stuff. Like Eagle Park puts on good stuff. Tim's a huge fan of Eagle Park. He loves that.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, is that a local
Every
brewery?
bracket's something new with this
I
guy.
love Octopi too.
Yeah,
And
Occupy. Yeah,
Where is Eagle? Is that a self-named brewery?
Eagle Park is Milwaukee.
yeah.
Okay.
They got a Waukesha location too.
Yeah, they have Waukesha and like downtown Milwaukee.
Nice.
So,
Do they do tours in the works? Do they have like a
yeah,
restaurant
I
face?
mean like it's a pretty big operation, especially the one in Waukesha. Or it's actually not on. It's in New Berlin.
Is it New Berlin?
Yeah,
okay.
it's in New
I guess
Berlin.
they're almost right next to each
That
other.
would make more sense. I was
Yeah.
like thinking of Waukesha. Like,
Yeah.
wow, that's
Yeah, I think it is
yeah.
New Berlin. I mean, they're right there.
It's called
so.
Muskego. Technically.
Oh yeah, so technically, so we get to 3 cities later.
Yeah,
it's all the same area,
technically,
right?
yeah. But I'm just thinking of like you know.
Some
But
tribe sounding name.
their Muskego location is bigger, and they brew a lot of stuff out of there.
Most of your production's over at that facility. Am I correct? Yeah.
Well, yeah, boys. Like, thank you for like opening it up that way, because this kind of like brings us into one of the reasons we wanted to bring you in today. Like, since we're, and especially like me and Luis, the gentleman who couldn't be here. For those, if I hadn't mentioned it earlier, Luis could not be here today. He sends his well wishes and his best regards to all his loving fans out there, and fans mailing him panties. Please stop.
What?
He has a a significant other. Please stop doing that. But anyways, point is, one of the main reasons why I'm bringing you in here is because we love to nerd out on wine, right? Like, it's really easy to do so. Like, you'll find one varietal and drink it from California, and then one varietal, drink it from France, and they're two very different experiences, right?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Even though it's the same grape, same, almost maybe the same climate, but just a different experience, different palate. And we kind of wanted to like bring you two in, not just for your musical talents, but also to like have somebody introduce us to like the beer world, you know, like how is it that you go about almost analyzing those like second level, third level factors when it comes to beers and things like that.
Talking about senses and stuff?
Yeah, like how do you go about like tasting it, you know, like breaking it down?
For me in craft beer, you see, I'm not a huge dark beer drinker, but sometimes I will try them. I especially love Oktoberfests. Like ambers are so good because they have so much flavor and they drink really well. You know,
a dark amber, right?
Well, just any amber in general.
I mean, like
a Marks and
ambers
lager.
in general.
Yeah.
Some of them can be dark and actually can be really good, but
you prefer the other
but I
stuff,
like
right?
I like ones that are actually the color of amber. You know,
Yeah.
Like,
And they're usually
like an
the more balanced
Oktoberfest
beer.
is like the perfect amber.
Yes.
Oh, perfect shade of like.
It's the perfect color.
Yes.
You get the best of
And
both
it's
worlds,
the
malts
best, and
and
it's
hops.
one of the best beers to drink in the fall or when it's cold.
Yes.
But when it comes to like tasting all that stuff, like right now IPAs and like, you know, these smoothie seltzers that I'm drinking, like that kind of stuff is really like taking me like, you know, that's like
ride.
really all I drink is those and like IPAs.
Fruity.
Like, you know,
A good hoppy drink.
good hazy, but like
You're a hophead, Tim.
it took me a long time. It took me a long time because those IPAs are acquired taste, and they are not for everyone. Because
Very hearty, very full.
A little skunky, a little
Especially
like,
got a virgin palate.
herbaceous.
especially if they're
Yes.
like hazy, you know, it's
Yeah.
very, and they're always hoppy. They're always
Yes.
gonna be, you know. And if you don't like it, like I have a friend that he doesn't like IPAs, like at all.
Even our bass player,
Like-
not a big IPA guy.
Like every time I've had him try one, because a couple of my favorite places to get IPAs from are Youngblood. They're out of Madison.
Check those guys out. They're an awesome facility.
Shout out to Black Rocks. They are probably one of my favorite breweries of all time because, I mean, like every beer that they make is amazing. I'll tell you a story. I went up there. We played up there for my birthday weekend one time.
Oh hell yeah!
And we went to the actual cannery, and I got to have a porter. And like I said, I don't normally drink dark beers, but they were canning one of their porters right off the line, and they just let me take one that was like,
hell yeah!
Wow,
it had just gotten canned,
tasty,
fresh from the right off the press.
like right fresh off the press, man. Ooh. And let me just tell you, like, I don't like porters that much, but that one was just, the taste of it was amazing because of the freshness.
Damn.
And it was just so good. It was so good.
Any canned beer is great off the line.
But it was also my birthday, and I was drinking whatever was handed to me, too.
Take it.
See, I wish I had an experience like that, fresh off the press.
Just go to breweries on your birthday. And just stand right next to the can.
Yeah,
Like,
I
hey, it's
mean-
my birthday.
And about that particular porter, Tim, was it like any specific flavors, or it was just like a classic
No,
porter,
it
nothing
was-
in there?
The porter was called Potter's Porter.
Okay.
And it's, I mean, like, for some reason, it just, like, the flavors of the porter, like a normal porter actually came out more strong and actually were different in a way. Like, every porter is different, actually, from every brewery. They will all brew them differently. They will all taste different.
Yeah.
So a quick question about breweries and all this stuff. Is it a gimmick, or like is there a significant difference
No,
between
it's a
barrel
craft- it's a movement.
No,
Like
like
craft movement.
craft beer is just it actually has been around for a long time.
Longer than you
Long
think.
time. So Sierra Nevada out of
Colorado, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Colorado.
They're
Mid-80s.
probably one of the first craft breweries ever to hit the United States. Ever.
Yep. Then
And they go back a long time too.
We had a good friend of ours that worked at Lagunitas.
Even back, like have you ever seen Django Unchained?
Yes.
Well, back then, they had craft beer,
Oh,
shit, yeah.
okay.
They were making
Yeah.
all
which is
those
why
beers.
they show them in the bar,
Yeah.
and that's how they used to tap beer, like off the. They've had taps
The
for a
cask.
long time. It's like that's just what they did. But
Yeah.
But it was also a different way of tapping it because they hadn't gotten to the where we are now, of course.
Do you think where we are now has gotten too far? Now we're putting like milk with like
Lactose
is there
sugar?
a difference?
Yeah.
That's the
Have we
but
crossed
that's
the line
difference.
once we call it strawberry milkshake?
But that's the difference
You can do whatever you
between
want.
craft beer and let's say a Miller Lite or a Bud Light.
Yeah.
It is the total opposite. Like
get
you're
any flavor, anything
crafting
you
beer,
want.
so you're making something that's unique, and so people have been adding to the uniqueness.
Yeah.
And dude, every single one of them is unique. Like
There are
you
some
taste
stubborn
every
beer drinkers
IPA,
out there.
different IPAs.
Like a Pokemon.
They will
Like a
all
Pokemon.
Yeah, but they'll all
Gotta
taste
drink them
different.
all.
Every
Yeah.
IPA tastes different. But Black Rocks, they have a really good one. It's called My Kiss IPA, and you can buy it at Woodman's in Janesville.
Oh,
We had
hell
a keg
yeah.
of it
Hell
at his
yeah.
wedding.
Oh man.
Well, no, we had 51K
Oh,
at my
you had three
wedding.
different kegs of Black Rocks.
I am recently married.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
Tim.
Thank
Yes.
Thank you. I got married in September.
Oh, that's
Oh, yeah.
awesome. And,
Yeah, man.
And you were talking about how you guys had a 51 keg party?
So me and Holly, our day was just beautiful. Uriah came to the wedding too. We got married at Richard Bong State Recreational Area.
Oh, that's awesome.
outside of
Richard Bong?
Burlington. Yeah.
That's
Oh
awesome.
hell yeah!
And we
It's
got-
an
we got-
incredible
we got
state park,
married.
very
We got
scenic.
married outside at this outdoor amphitheater type thing. Didn't need to bring chairs or anything for anybody to sit in. It was just
That's incredible.
I don't know. It was amazing. I built the arch.
Nice.
It was pretty great.
Speaking of DIY,
Hey, there-
But afterwards, the reception, like we're talking about beer, we had 2 8th barrels of 51K, which is another beer IPA by Black Rocks. They're like trademark beer.
Okay, it's the flagship essentially. Like
Yeah.
It is the flagship.
Yep.
Like that beer, Grand Rabbits, which is a cream ale, which is actually really good.
yeah. Very familiar.
They actually make a really good beer called Honey Lav, and it is a honey lavender ale.
Oh man, that sounds right up my
It's
alley.
really good during the summer.
I love floral things.
And like most beers that they say they're honey or whatever, you can't taste the honey, can you?
They're not.
Probably
It's not very
because
prominent.
It was fermented
Yep.
with honey, and that's why. But they turned it into a beer, which in a way cancels out the honey. But
Yeah.
this Honey Lav, you taste the honey, and it finishes with lavender,
I'm a sucker for lavender. So.
and it is.
So am I.
It's actually it's just so good, like so good.
Uriah, you brought the right guy. You brought the right guy, homie.
what kind of beer snobs in our band?
Yeah, you brought
But
the
I mean,
right guy.
Last time I went to Colorado, and I can't wait to go back. Not even just for the bud, but actually for some breweries. Me and my wife hit up there, which was
Is there
like,
cannabis infused breweries? Like
Not
with
yet.
like oh wow.
Well, not yet, but people do it on the side. You know, just as
They
like
do
kind of a
CBD
side
beers and
project.
hemp beers, but they can't do the THC
But
yet.
we hit
in the
up a
States.
couple breweries in
Joe
Denver,
Biden.
and one of them was called Cerebral Brewery, and they are awesome. Like, I cannot wait. I had my first sour IPA, which it's an IPA, but it's also got a sourness to it. And it was like life changing. I was just like, sour IPAs. That's where it's at.
Tim, can you tell me a little bit about sours? I haven't run into them too much. Like,
Well, technically, it's a Berliner Weiss, a Berliner Weiss.
of course,
Berliner Weiss.
You know those.
So those are sours. That is the sour strain. But a lot of breweries have started to add fruit to them and
Sour.
Okay.
It's
and
called
fruit
kettle sour.
purees and stuff like Drecker out of Fargo. They're out of Fargo, South Dakota. I've almost turned into a craft beer snob, but even like IPAs, like so a lot of people are just getting into IPAs now that like I'm like, yeah, that's old school. Like I've heard about that. Like
You're like, I've been drinking IPAs for years.
But the thing that got me actually into the IPA, like I actually had to drink pale ales for a long time. Like Moon Man or like Sierra Nevadas. Like, to get you used to the hoppiness of drinking like hoppy beer.
So tell me there, like, differentiate those for me. What's the difference between like a pale ale and an IPA, an Indian pale ale?
So a pale ale will actually, like some of them actually can be pretty hoppy pale ales, but like most of them, it's probably the grain they use or some type of malt that kind of like, a lot of them are actually see-through. A lot of them aren't hazy, which they've been developing hazy pale ales though, as of late, like recently. But you know, like most IPAs will be, you know, double the hops.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. So it's going to be much more prominent in like what it's going for.
IBUs, what are international bittering units, and that's why what IPAs they're usually above like a 60 IBU, 50 IBU.
Okay, so it's just like
the beer base itself is made
much
the same,
more bold.
It's higher gravity and then higher IBUs.
So in theory, like it's made to fill you up and get you like.
Some people just love hops.
But IPAs also have 3 different levels. So there's IPA, double IPA, triple IPA.
What the hell?
And actually, triple IPAs mostly will come out to be like, I think 10 to 12%,
depending on the state. 'Cause some states can't
Ooh,
sell
nice.
And so like double IPAs would be like 7 or 8 or 9 even sometimes, and then a single IPA is like the same, like 6, 6 to 7.
When you see Imperial IPA, that's your triple. They'll say Imperial too.
And they'll also use more hops in the batch because
it's a lot of dry hopping, which is post fermentation hopping. So then you get a lot more, rather than bitterness, you get a lot more aroma and nose.
And
I've
actually had a couple of wet hopped IPAs.
Fresh hops. They got to be at the brewery in the beer within 48 hours.
Yep.
Freshly harvested. And that's why a lot of they pay extra money.
Basically,
to get
right off the farm.
Michigan's got a lot of hops. Washington.
Yeah, if you guys ever get a chance, go down to Microphone Brewing Company.
Microphone's great.
In Michigan?
No, they're in Illinois.
Okay. Where are they at?
They're in suburbs. They're in Elk Grove, I think.
Elk Grove, yeah, you're right. I've been there before.
Elk Grove Village. That's what it's called.
They got vinyls everywhere.
But Microphone is like they're in an industrial park, like most breweries are. But they brew amazing beer. They do beer slushies, beer ice cream.
Oh, geez. I want to try some ice cream. And one more time, drop the name.
Microphone.
Microphone Brewery.
It's like a microphone.
And it's MIKE or a phone.
Like micro brewery, but microphone.
It's like the guy's name that started it. His name was Mike. So.
And for the local Midwesters, like this is the not too far of a drive out in Illinois.
Like an hour.
No, nothing.
No, it's probably about an hour.
Yeah,
but I mean, like even more brewing company. They're in Huntley.
Yeah,
they're good.
I mean, what the hell are you going to do with your time? I mean,
dude, honestly, after this, we're going to have to have you write down a few, or I'm going to write down a few of the names you're listing.
Just drive down to the suburbs and look up breweries near me.
You're an encyclopedia over here, homie.
I mean, your world travel in, like, we're talking about, like, different geography of like the nation, and like Colorado and like the more spring water, I assume, would have to contribute to the IPA. Where in the state would be the best like harvest? And like no matter where you go,
Washington,
Washington,
Yakima Valley, they have the most hops growing out there.
Probably
in Oregon, Hood
Wow.
Canal. I grew hops out there. They just grow
so
like
they have
weed.
crazy good wine and crazy good beer.
Their IPA.
That's probably
the East
where
Coast,
most
West
come
Coast started
from,
with
but
the IPA
a lot
trend.
of people have been doing local hop growing.
You can grow your
around
own,
here.
yeah.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
they've been using their own hops actually grown from here too.
Hops are easier to grow
I
than
mean-
you'd think. Yeah.
Just let them grow. They vine up.
And I mean,
Yeah, that's
honestly,
fine.
Colorado in a way is a good place to grow hops, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Especially, I know it gets cold, like
Yeah.
in some places.
As long as
but-
you don't have freeze, like that's why like the Pacific Northwest has good hots because it doesn't freeze over. You know what I mean? It stays
Yeah.
rainy all year out there, so you got really good crops. Certain crops.
But I
grow
mean,
really
even
good.
talking
think
about
about
just Denver in
Yeah.
general, like I don't know. There was a lot of good breweries we went to down there.
Odell's good. I went to Odell one time. That was sweet.
That's
Fort Collins.
Is Odell's a non-alcoholic one or
No, Odell. That's
No,
all
they-
duels.
Oh, is it?
Odell's Odell.
Okay.
And it's actually right down the road from
They're-
the New Belgium.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
I think it's
New
oh,
Belgium was
man.
pretty sweet.
What is one of the oldest breweries in Colorado is
The
is
Golden.
actually there, and
the Golden?
Not Golden, but Golden, Colorado's where Coors is fucking made. So yeah, I didn't even go to that brewery tour. I was like, I'm skipping that.
Boys, can I have you fill me in on the genesis of Contact High and how both of you came together
Sure.
and to be in the same band?
Sure.
Yeah, actually, so I'll actually start off. I was brewing at the time at Second Salem in Whitewater. And the brothers Quinn actually came in and played one time. And me and Tim met briefly a long time ago. I used to go see his old band back in the day, Out and Out, when we were younger.
And I'm sorry, Uriah, thank you for reminding me. I hadn't mentioned it earlier. Tim is actually also comes representing his own incredibly like successful local band, the Brothers Quinn, who are this like bluesy folk style, or what would you describe it as, Tim?
technically like Americana.
There we
play
go.
a very wide
That's
range
one word
of
you can
music.
say.
There we
You got
go.
The folk vibe and the and all
Yes,
that shit.
there you go.
Very grassroots, very.
Yep.
It's an incredibly fun like retro sound. I like it. It's super fun to like watch it for the first time. You're kind of like,
yeah.
where is this coming out of? You know?
And you guys have been around for a while.
Like, yeah, I was just about to say we've been together. I think this is 11 years.
There we
this
go.
year.
Hell yeah! So you guys are like deepening your roots at this point. You know, like you guys are really
One of your band members
rounding
is
out
your
your
brother,
sound.
so, right?
Well, I'll tell you this: I've played music with my brother a long time. A long time.
That's right.
Almost every band I was in up until now, like with this new band, I've been in with my brother.
Oh wow, you guys are like a dynamic duo essentially.
Yeah, but I mean, like as Contact High goes, Uriah, like he was saying,
Yes.
Yeah, well, anyhow, he came in with the band one time, and I was just got done with work, so I decided to stay or whatever. So we kind of caught up that day. I think we went outside and smoked a bowl or something with Nick Wingate, one of our friends, one of his best friend. And then I think during COVID, I didn't talk to you for a while after that. And during COVID, I mean, I got laid off for a little bit, and I was really bored. And I was like, I want to fucking start a band. And Tim was one of the first people that popped in my mind. So I decided, I texted him, and I texted you a few times. It was like because you were staying in quite a bit at the time, and I was like trying to like, come on, let's jam, because COVID was still in effect. That's when the shutdown happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we got together end of May of 2020, and then we said, fuck it, you know what I mean? We're like, let's just start jamming. So the first practice was just me and him, pretty much us smoking a joint and just coming up with random shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I already had some songs previously I wanted to do, and then we both were like, let's start doing reggae ska stuff. So that kind of came up, and then we wanted a bass player, so we kind of branched out. From there, I asked you, we were both looking for bass players at a time, and he's like, hey, my buddy Anthony, who I knew briefly too, just from around the area, we had him come over, and so then it was us three just for, like maybe 2 or 3 practices, something like that? Yeah.
Very small.
Yeah.
Why ska and reggae?
Because they're both, me and him fucking love that style of music. It's a sweet style and nobody's doing it anymore.
Hell yeah.
Ever since I started listening to ska music, I've never looked back.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
that's awesome.
Right? It's like the one thing that always stays with you is ska music.
And actually,
reggae too.
Actually, reggae has become probably my favorite, though.
Yep, that's my favorite style of
Between
music.
ska and reggae, like, I don't know, reggae just kind of like took over.
Makes you feel good.
Especially when I was a big stoner, like I still smoke, of course, but I have cut back a lot of my smoking from what I used to before I got married and before I met my fiance or my wife, and and we
the Cheech and Chong of local music right here.
Before I met her and kind of was just like, wow, I smoked a lot of weed, like, and you just start to realize like that kind of stuff.
You don't realize how high.
Well, like back then, I'd listen to Easy Star All Stars, which they do covers of a lot of different albums. Like they did Dark Side of the Moon, and they did Radiohead.
Sgt. Pepper's Dub Band.
They did Sgt. Pepper.
Ska versions of reggae versions.
Reggae versions of the entire album.
Dub Side of the Moon.
So like I'd actually drive around and like smoke roadies by myself sometimes.
Jamming the reggae, man.
and I'd put that stuff on because of the effects that they have over it's called dub reggae.
Dub reggae.
And so like a lot of the effects will actually like, and like the blending of those effects will actually, they used to give me like body highs. Like I would almost feel it through my entire body,
almost spiritual.
And it was like
it's very spiritual.
I 100% get what you're saying. I love when music.
You guys can
that.
check out. You guys should definitely check out some dub reggae. Just typing it on Spotify and let the playlist take you.
Well, even the roots of like reggae is like amazing because like in like the Jamaica, it's like a very known.
It's their only music, really. Besides like calypso was the beginning.
Ska was actually their first.
Ska was right in the early '60s. Ska kind of progressed,
ska
it was more like
ska was like the original
party.
like. Ska came before reggae.
Yeah, probably like 9-10 years before reggae was. Like, it was actually titled reggae.
Right.
People don't call it. There's different styles like rock steady and lovers rock.
Yeah.
And there's a European two-tone style.
That came in after late '70s.
That's because Europe. Of course, they traveled to Jamaica.
Jamaican immigrants coming over.
Brought Jamaican immigrants to England.
It's kind of like California with the Mexicans and the white people.
They kind of brought a different sound.
The Cholo culture.
Yep.
So like.
Skinhead
really good ska band called the Toasters. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Toasters.
Yeah, Toasters. I've seen them a few times.
So like they're from London.
Oh, okay.
And they've been around since the 80s. Like
the
Specials, London.
Oh, Specials,
and a lot of London and the UK is influenced by Jamaica.
Yeah,
and then
Jeffrey Dahmer,
and then the
Jeffrey
United
Johnson,
States two-tone was even spawned off of that. It even grew bigger. It became almost like rock and roll.
Also, it was
like
very
we blended ska with rock and roll, which like explains Streetlight Manifesto and
the third wave
Real
of ska,
Big
the
Fish,
90s.
Less Than Jake. All of those guys
the
kind of like
Intertruppers
took it to another level, which was like it was just we called it new wave.
Yeah, like the new wave of the third wave or whatever they wanted to call it in the '90s, which was more punk rock too, because they had a lot of more punk rock elements like distorted guitars and stuff like that. Like Real Big Fish would throw in metal riffs and shit like that. Then they were Less Than Jake. They became more, I guess, universal in their. They had different styles added with
Careful
the ska.
over there.
Yeah, be careful over there, man. At least it wasn't full.
Very DIY over here.
Yeah, so Tim and I are like, we're like, it's not just one style of ska. It's like ska since it started. We like all the different decades, the different fields. There's different things going on.
Oh yeah, there's different, like you're
some
saying,
of it's
different
political,
ways.
some of it's really fun. You know what I mean? So it's got quite a big range.
How the hell did the Nazis get into the punk and like ska scene?
Not
because out in the West Coast,
original skinheads were actually not racist.
Yeah, they were not Nazis. It was a movement of. Like they were acting out. They were acting out.
Well, I mean, ska is very like open to like.
They were acting out for what was going on, but they were also people that didn't. So how can I put this? Like they didn't.
Hey, homie. We love the truth, homie.
So
preach it, brother.
They didn't want it.
No,
these people didn't want to be controlled.
Okay.
For the time that was going on, it was very.
And give me the layout of what situation you're talking about for the people who are just listening at this point.
So, like, for skinhead ska, like, technically for what it was, they were rebellious people they actually added their own style to the reggae feel, okay? And there was mostly around stomping. Like stomping is their trademark. Like,
Yeah.
And they dressed up like
They dressed up nice, wore suspenders. Actually, the original skinheads were just like kind of like they were like the white boys that like Jamaican music.
All right. Another name probably I'm going to drop right now is the Skoidats, okay,
Skoidats?
which are one of my favorite skinhead ska bands of all time.
Were they West Coast or East Coast? Or
No,
like-
they're from England, weren't they?
England.
They are
Yeah.
they are
Oh, hell
British.
yeah.
So was Mr. Cimera
So
too. I had to drop
so
that in.
they are like the perfect representation of like, especially bringing even early skinhead ska to modern day. Like one of their album covers is actually a skinhead guy standing next to a rude boy, which they used to wear suits, like
Kind of like
you know, the
gangsters,
suit
mobsters.
look, black suit, black tie, black shoes, hat, sunglasses. But it has them standing next to each other, and like you listen to the album, it is
Check
the
it out.
perfect combination of those two things.
And originally, ska was, still is about unity, right? The checkered,
It's about having fun,
black
man.
and white.
It's about freedom.
Yeah, it's freedom. Freedom to have fun.
And it's about freedom and love. Basically, is what
that's
reggae
pretty
is
much our
about.
message too. Is like we kind of stick to that. We're freedom and love. We preach nothing but positive things when we're on stage and all that too. So like it is a culture, and it's like we blended 3 different fucking generations of it with the reggae, and then like rock and roll influences too, and blended it into one.
And
But
of course, you can not be ska without the horns. The horns on the Contact High EP. Baller.
Yes.
Actually, I'd like
Is
to
that
talk
Therese?
about how we met Adrian and Therese too.
Is that Therese?
Yeah.
And Adrian?
Yeah.
Definitely
Do
recommend checking
we
that
want
out.
to play a track?
Oh, we're going to. We're gonna play a few.
Okay, cool.
We'll edit that in.
Which one do you think we should play at this point?
The Wants to Love
Want to love you.
Want to love you.
We
At
want
this
to love
point,
you.
ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen, I hope you enjoy the sweet, sweet sounds of Contact High and Want to Love You.
Want to love you. See it through. And I really want to love you. See it
mates who are not here. Tim and I are speaking on their behalf too. So this goes out to Anthony, our bass player, Therese, our saxophone player, and Adrian, our trumpet player.
Hey, baby.
Oh, perfect.
Hey, sexy guys. Horn Hub. We call them Horn Hub.
Yep,
Yeah.
Horn Hub.
Oh,
They're the
hell
Horn
no.
Hub
Actually,
section.
I've known Anthony for
Y'all should
over
trademark
20
that.
years.
So yeah, actually, Anthony, we're speaking about how we brought in the band. Tim messaged
So
him,
like
reached out
I've
to him.
known Anthony since he was in 8th grade. I was in 6th grade actually.
Shout out Rigatoni's. I love your food.
Rigatoni's forever. For life.
Yeah, for real.
Well, you're friends with the Rigatoni?
Delavan
I've
Mafia.
known- they were my second family, man.
They are
Oh
good
my
people.
god!
They're
I'm so
fun.
sorry. I should have paid
Like,
respect. Jesus.
like one night I stayed at Anthony's house, and his grandma, when she was still alive, God rest her soul, Anthony, I miss her all the time. She,
I can imagine.
She actually was up probably at like 5 a.m., I'd imagine, but she made us like a smorgasbord of breakfast. Like,
Sexy.
and I will never forget it. Like,
Champion
Oh,
of breakfast.
man.
it was, and she was amazing. She was an amazing woman. But they all love to cook, and I'm so glad, Anthony. I'm so proud of you, by the way, for
He just took over.
taking
Yeah,
over the
that's
restaurant.
what I heard.
Um,
I thought, yes, go on.
It's a huge achievement.
I think I
it's
told
a big
you that, too.
achievement,
Maybe.
and it's well earned. Anthony, you are
Free
probably
cannolis.
one
Better
of the
shows.
hardest workers
I'm
ever.
serious.
That's
I'll
awesome.
just tell you that.
That's
Takes a lot
awesome.
of pride
Good
in
to
his
hear.
family business.
Good to hear, Anthony. You guys have an incredibly solid, just unique business for the area, and it just the roots for it keep growing deeper and deeper. Like they're just a community staple. Like people from Delavan, people from Lake Geneva
Yeah, and
are always coming over and being like,
Adrian actually
"I need
lives
this,
out
I
in
need that."
Fort.
Like,
Rigatoni.
Adrian actually lives out in Fort, and like when he was the first horn to actually join the band.
Yeah, I met him at the brewery because he was in there
and
every
he,
freaking day, and I found out he played trumpet. I was
But he came to practice. We all kind of
just
hit
asked
it
him.
off, and he was he's probably the best 23-year-old
23.
I've ever met in my life.
oh, that's dope. So he's like a really
Like-
mature, like young guy.
mature than I
mature
was
than
when
you,
I was
dude.
23.
Oh yeah, we were pieces of
I
shit.
hate to meet myself
Amen,
when I was
brother.
23.
I hear you on that one.
But like anyway, like we all kind of hit it off, and
Shout out
I'm so
Adrian.
glad we do because I love Adrian actually as a person too. He's a very actually just great.
And he's
great
from the
person.
area?
He's from Fort. Oh no, he's from Janesville. Sorry, but he's been living in Fort. But he was going to school, so he just graduated last year. Cool. And that's that. When I met him, he was going to school, and he was always in Second Sin, which is right downtown Whitewater.
Oh, yeah.
There. So
In school, there's like a stigma of like band players and horn players being like kind of nerds. Is there a stigma like that in like?
I'm just kidding.
I thought you were going to say horny.
Cool horn players.
Of
yeah,
course,
the horny nerds.
some of them are nerds. Okay.
Yeah, it's just gonna happen.
But-
That's just good. That's a stereotype that falls in place regardless.
Yeah. I mean,
Dude, if you
Can't
want
shape the wheel.
if you want some music and you want that shit to be like tight and advanced,
I
like,
wanted horn players from the
I would
beginning,
maybe
man.
trust
Yeah.
a nerd once in a while, like once in a while. You know, I'm not gonna say you give them every job, but like
and funny story about Therese is that I met her before she was in Contact High. We worked at Lake Lawn together.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
and that's how I actually met her. But then they were like, after we had Adrian, they're like, "Oh, we know this sax player," and she came over. I'm like, "What up, Therese?"
Yeah, that was cool. I like the fact that we have a girl in the band though
only
too.
because like I
woman.
knew her,
Sorry.
and we used to like talk and everything at work about just bullshitting around. But I was just like, "Oh, cool, Therese." Like it's actually I'm comfortable with everybody here.
Yeah.
Which was nice, and
We're comfortable enough to
and we
argue
kind of
with each
like
other.
brought our own sound and stuff, and Horn Hub definitely added to that.
Dude, it does sound a lot.
dude, y'all
it
gotta
sounded
create
so much
some merch
better.
off that.
Yeah, we should have brought some for him.
We should make a shirt that says
the Horn Hub.
I'm here for Horn Hub.
Yeah,
Yes.
that'd be kind of a
Yes.
cool side, like a little gimmick
and actually
shirt or
have the
something.
Horn
Yes.
Hub like
like the Pornhub logo.
Yes,
the yellow. Yeah.
Oh,
And have them playing horns on it. That's a picture of them.
so speaking of merch, because like I mean, the traditional route of like what used to be before like the pandemic and the rise of Spotify and all the streaming services was going locally to town, selling your merch, selling stickers, getting word of mouth, and like
That's what we do. Yeah.
yeah.
It's fun. We actually have
But
our
also,
third print of shirts.
Also, I'd have to say the first punk rock wave was probably they didn't have all that, so they stuck stickers everywhere.
Yeah, we should do that still.
Like
We have a lot of stickers.
light posts, and they'd stick them like literally everywhere, so
Yeah.
that people
Boom, boom.
would
City light posts were like the community board.
I should
You know,
start
like
tagging.
And they made it old fashioned. They would get like
gonna
legit
come
like
back to
pictures
us, too.
together, go to
We're gonna, like,
photocopiers.
Dude,
and-
promoting for music has come a long way, but I mean, stickers
It's all
are still
social
so
media now.
popular and actually becoming more popular.
yeah.
It was super weird to do shows
they're
on
a very,
Facebook compared to
like,
making flyers.
Putting stickers on your car is a very big thing right now too.
Oh, really?
Putting any kind of bumper stickers.
Yeah.
You know what? I've
Bumper
seen.
stickers.
I've always seen like the Grateful Dead ones, and yeah.
Well,
yeah.
of
We're
course.
trying to get on that level.
But still,
Never.
people do a lot. I put
Hey,
stickers
you
all
got
over
a
my
good sound.
drum
Come
set.
on now,
Yeah,
doggy.
we do got a lot of
I
stickers.
have stickers from almost all my breweries that I've been to on my drum
Same
set.
thing with
and,
my
like,
guitar case.
and
all
like
stickers from breweries.
stickers from different states that I've been to. I have a big Stevie Ray Vaughan sticker on my drum set. It's like this big. I got it in Texas.
Dude, that thing sounds epic.
in
That's pretty
Texas
sweet,
too.
yeah.
Like
Where else would you get a Stevie Ray Vaughan?
Online, I'm gonna go on my phone and get
Bullshit.
one.
it takes away from it though. I mean, like,
Hey,
for real.
but I have stickers from so. I was gonna talk about my band history. Okay, so
Yes.
this is a
So
good
this is a
time
great
to bring
segue.
this up.
Hell yeah.
So, of course, the first band I was ever in was called Odd and Out.
Seen them.
Out and out.
And I formed it with my brother when we were in high school. And we had a couple of our good friends were we got together and formed this ska band in high school. We had at max, we had a 5-piece horn section at one time.
Jesus, you guys went full ska.
Yeah.
It's just 5 people in the horn
and
section.
I mean,
Yeah.
my brother actually played guitar in that band, and we had met this kid. His name was Ian Connors. He was from Lake Geneva. And we had put up a flyer, and he saw our flyer, and he became a really good actually addition to our band. we
out
just
of nowhere,
clicked,
he put out a flyer
because
and he
he
showed
listened
up.
to ska music and like he knew about like how bass lines like probably should be.
He knew what you were going
Of course,
for.
like with Odd and Out, we did a ton of covers. That was actually one of the first bands we wrote original music. That me and my brother, you know, and people in our band had wrote songs, and that we played. But from then on, you know, like when my brother went to college, you know, we like Odd and Out had to break up. You know, people were going their separate ways, and like there was nothing we could do, and it was pretty rough. I mean, for me, because I loved it. Like it was probably the first time. Like it was my introductory into drumming. Like
Wow. Well, you're the percussionist of the
I'm pretty self-taught when it comes to drums. Okay, like mentally, when I'm sitting behind a drum set now, like I know more what to do. But even the first time I sat behind a drum set, I felt it was like the right place. Like first time I even saw somebody play a drum set, I'm like I'm pretty sure I know how to do that already. It was that kind of thing.
The touch of God,
and it was just. But that was my first introductory. I hadn't like necessarily explored myself before we formed that band, and I was learning to do beats that I didn't know how to do, especially ska or like, you know, and trying to form my own sound and as a drummer, like, which was a very difficult time actually in my life. Like it was hard on me, like messing up. Like I was nervous. Like playing in front of people was a big fear of mine up until like when Odd and Out like blew up and we started to get a ton of followers. Like
nice.
It was fun. Like some of the funnest times I've actually had.
I mean, you essentially going into it with your friends, like, you know.
And some of them were my best friends. Like Evan, like our tenor sax player, was a longtime friend of mine. Like still is. You know, but he moved to New York, unfortunately. I haven't seen the kid in a while, but
hopefully still
you know,
pursuing
there
the
was
music scene out there.
like, you know, we had just formed a nice friendship. It was like a family, which was hard to lose when everybody went to college. But later on, you know, Blaine had met this guy. His name was Owen. Blaine and him just used to play just the two of them. But then we decided to take it to another level and start an Irish rock band.
Irish rock band.
Yeah, like Irish rock or Irish punk band called Whiskey of the Damned. And they actually still play. Owen took the name and still did something with it, which is fine. Like
a fitting name.
But probably during that time, we were together probably, I think, 6 years. We ended in 2011, which was like we picked up where like with the brothers Quinn right when that ended.
Oh, wow.
But probably the best band story I probably have comes from the Whiskey of the Damned era. The guitar player, Owen, he actually still does run a free stage at Summerfest.
Okay.
Local it's called the Refugee Stage.
Okay.
And it's like right on the river. So, but you don't get paid, but it's good exposure for everybody that's there.
Summerfest is always a good
one year we got asked to open for Dropkick Murphys.
Wow.
And it was...
I was actually at that show.
It was a very big moment for me. I'd been going to Summerfest forever. My dad's been taking me there, and it's just been awesome. So to play on the Harley Davidson stage, like right before Dropkick Murphys and right after Gaelic Storm, was a very big thing for me. Like we played in front of over 500 people.
There's probably more than that, man.
Yeah.
I think there was
all the Dropkick Murphys fans that were there.
Yeah, because they showed up early. I remember I was already on the side.
Them, yeah. A very heavy Irish rock theme. Like you got the Gaelic rock, and then you got the Whiskey of the Damned, right? Is that am I saying that right?
Whiskey of the Damned is what we were called back then.
And then Dropkick Murphys are like the big name for like the
also
Irish rock.
epic band name.
I mean, of course, though we didn't get to meet them.
Yeah,
they stayed in their trailer the whole time. But like,
sure, at least
but I'll tell you that like it was actually that was the most people I had played in front of, and like I had got the feeling back of being really nervous.
Oh. Okay.
And so, like, we were 2 songs in, and my right forearm muscles here locked up, like, tense. And they just, like, solid.
Damn.
But like I still was moving. Like it was mid song that it happened.
Weird.
And you had to fight through that
like
shit.
keep going and power through it. It was probably like the worst and best experience of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Only because like I've dreamed of playing on those stages before that moment.
Yeah.
Dreamed of it. Like because I was like
You used
that
to
is
go
like
there.
that's the best.
Yeah.
Like it is the best. Like those stages are like the awesome.
Nice, yeah, they're huge.
I think that's called like the yeeps or some shit like that. Like
The
sports
yips?
profession. Yeah, the yips.
There you
I
go.
used to have a couple pictures on my old phone, but there was a thing at the end of Irish Fest that it was called almost any musician that's played there could go backstage and everybody could go on stage together and like
Wingding? That was a very popular one around here that's no longer.
and like sing songs together. Like Irish Fest, like it had a name, like it was like the gathering or like you know the social, and like almost any musician could go up on stage. So like we were up there with, you know, like just me and my brother went up there, but there was another band member from a different band that we had played with called Scythian, and like he was there, and like dude, the crowd was crazy. And like they shot off fireworks on the bay.
Damn,
and
production.
Like, it was crazy, but like Irish Fest is another one that's actually probably been
They
great
do all
for
those
me.
fests, like the
But
Italian
what
fest
about
and all
what
that.
about your band history?
My band
Uriah?
history? Well, actually, so when I was younger, I actually used to go see Out and Out. So funny thing, I was a couple years younger, so I was like 14, maybe younger than that, seeing his band.
Oh, wow.
But I had a couple other friends that had bands. There was a Delavan scene, so there was a lot of punk and ska. We played the Mill Pond, Silver Moon. Hey, what was Silver Moon on? What road, Tim?
It's on Highway 14.
Highway 14. Sorry,
It's
yeah.
still
Okay.
there, but
It's there, but it's not there. But anyhow, they used to do shows there all the time. Yeah.
That was actually, dude, those shows were so.
Those were fun. Yeah, I was like 14. And I was drinking booze out in the fucking parking lot and going in, having fun. A bunch of old
This
people.
was at the
staring
Mill
at
Pond,
us.
you said?
No, this was at Silver Moon. It was called off of 14.
okay.
It used to be there. It used to be a blues bar back in the day. But anyhow, I started playing around that same time when these guys were. And my first band was called Trash, and we were in the Elkhorn high school paper actually, and we actually weren't allowed to play the talent show after they heard our song. But no, it was always been punk and ska for me. I didn't really have anything successful up until I started playing solo when I was living out in Seattle.
Okay.
So I stopped playing music for like 4 years. I would play in my room and stuff. I wouldn't really share it. I did a lot of writing. And my buddy's like, he was in a band called The Weirdos out there, and he's like, and my brewery I was working at called Silver City Brewery, they were having their 20th anniversary. So the brewery I worked for out there was also from the 90s. So they actually been around for a long time. So it's kind of cool to work for an older brewery that was kind of ahead of their time out there. But anyhow, my buddy's like, why don't you go play, open up for us? Then all of a sudden I started playing this, ska music I was playing. The band comes up and just jumps right in. So I did like 4 or 5 songs of them, and then since then I just started playing. I would play like breweries in the area for like nothing. I would just do it for like free beer, and then I would do like little small places, like little bars, and then gradually started getting better at what I was doing, and then had more confidence in myself because I'm scared shitless still.
Yeah.
Every time I had to go outside and get fucked. Like I was like, that's what I'm trying to avoid now. But like most of our early shows, we would get really drunk. Like we were fucked up, and I think one time we played St. Patty's Day in Janesville. Tony forgot the bass lines, and like I was like fucking lost. We're like, whatever, just go with it. You know what I mean? You're playing like a key down or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I didn't really do nothing too crazy besides solo gigs. When I moved back, I did like Cattails, Flat Iron Tap, stuff like that. And then they started paying me. They started paying me like $150, $200.
Hell yeah. How was the music scene back in Seattle? Was it like?
Oh, Seattle had everything.
Oh,
Seattle
wow.
was like death metal, crust punk. There was some reggae, and then hip hop. There was like Jewish hip hop. There was like Islamic hip hop. It was weird because you had a lot of these different neighborhoods. Like Filipino hip hop. Like there was this like underground. They all play with each other. Like and then of course like Mexican, like the Cholo shit. But yeah, there was everything out there. It's Seattle. It's got everything, and people are still stuck up on the grunge days. I'm like, whatever. I like those bands, but like people still like talk about Kurt Cobain and like Eddie Vedder and Pearl Jam. I'm like. Man,
You're like, that was
grunge,
generations ago.
Yeah, and I'm like, and it's not a good generation Seattle's really known for besides the music. It was all people all doped up at that time.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But I was like, so like COVID, I mean, honestly, this is probably the most success I've had of any band. And I'm glad it came out the way it is because I hate playing solo acoustic. It sucks.
What I really wanted to bring to this band, especially, was my history. I mean, like
we both got
I've been
decent
playing
resume.
music my whole life.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, you know, I've been in a lot of bands, but they've all been mildly successful.
Right.
Okay. And there's ways to be successful, but
Gotta
I
be
wanted
careful.
to bring also my professionalism and just
Yeah.
my experience in being in you know, bands.
I think out of
like
everybody,
this,
Tim
like,
and I are the ones that kind of know. We get that background with dealing with like people that book shows, what to expect out of them. Even like the shitty experiences. Like at first you didn't want to do Lakefront, right? Because like something happened, they like not talking anything, but like on that level, like we got to be careful because nowadays everything's done on Facebook. So it's kind of a weird thing, you know what I mean? You got to book shows. I'm booking shows via Messenger. Fucking lame. You know what I mean? It's weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Used to be able to
I mean,
just
like-
walk into a place and like, hey, can we play? Cool. This is what we want.
I
You
mean,
know what
like one time I tried to say, like, you know, I asked Uriah if, like, you know, just for a way to be on the same page, and like, I had, you know, kind of asked him.
Like the same Facebook page?
No, like, I had kind of asked him about. Oh, I lost my train of thought.
We were talking about shows.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, like, you know, I'm sure you've had bad experiences even before this band.
Oh yeah, we really haven't had one yet.
A lot of bands also have the bad experiences, and they say, "Oh, fuck it, we're done."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you got to take those bad experiences,
turn it to good,
and
let it roll
learn
off.
from
You know,
those bad experiences. And
lucky enough, we've been pretty
you know,
fair with having our shows. Actually, everyone's been pretty like really cool with us, and people like do ask us to come back quite often, which is kind of nice. Delvin Yacht Club wants us back. Who would have thought that people would even like us out there?
Oh, you know what? The vibe that you guys provide, I would love to listen to your music on a yacht.
I don't know, we had a
Yacht
good
Rock's
time.
favorite music is reggae and
Yeah.
Hall and Oates.
Yeah,
For real though.
yeah.
dude.
But we don't do the Hall and Oates, man.
As far as the chemistry from you two guys, you guys already have a deep like interest in brewery and like just knocking out
We
back
connect
beers and shit.
on different levels too. And like same thing with Adrian. Adrian's kind of a beer snob too, so it kind of fits in. I mean, Therese loves her High Life. Gotta say that. Like, she loves her High Life.
Yeah, I mean,
the
she
champagne
does.
and beers.
She does,
Yeah,
though.
she likes the champagne. But yeah,
But hey, I mean, Adrian loves craft beer. He actually loves dark beer.
we should start
stouts
playing
and
more breweries.
porters.
So any breweries listening to this, we want to play your brewery.
And then you could definitely check out their catalog on. Are you guys on Spotify or no?
We're on Spotify, we're on iTunes, we're on YouTube, we're on every streaming service. There's Amazon Music, we're even on. You can actually tell your Alexa's play Contact High. I didn't even know that till like a couple weeks ago. And I was like, oh shit.
Damn, we're part of the
Alexa's
algorithm
play
now.
Comatose, and she does it.
Like we're on the wire, man.
Yeah, dude, it's like it's almost like
We need to get off the wire, bro.
I don't think it brings a specialty though. Like when bands first heard themselves on the radio, it's a lot different because you actually have to try to get it played on the radio. Now it's so easy to everyone's got streaming, so it's so I don't think it really has the effect. If we get played on the radio, I think that'll be way much of a better goal.
Especially for your guys' genre of music. It was all like a bunch of bands coming together, making cassettes and like putting stickers, making collaborations, and then like you had to add 5 like big records, like Moon Man. What was Moon Man? Or something out of New York, Goldfinger out in the West Coast. Moonska. There we go. Asian Man Records is really
Asian
popular
Man
one, too.
Records. Oh, sure.
So
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Moonska
Bruce Lee
Records
band.
was big. Like,
But
I
if
think,
it wasn't
I
for
think
them,
Moonska
it was hard,
didn't-
you know?
Moonska produced Simmer It.
I think so.
They did.
Yeah.
And they were like East Coast.
Moonska did the Toasters. Even the Toasters were probably one of the last bands they did.
Probably because they died out.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Green Day was on the Asian Man Records.
No, they were on Lookout.
Lookout?
Yeah, their first 2 albums were on Lookout, which was Operation Ivy's first release. Energy, all their singles was released. So actually, like Operation Ivy and Green Day came at the same time, and it's weird. Like Green Day became one of the hugest bands ever, and Operation Ivy played for only 2 years, and then become the most influential band ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They only have like one album,
They
essentially.
only had
right?
one album, but for having one album, Operation Ivy had definitely had an impact. And I'll tell you, if those guys fucking reunited, they would sell out.
Oh, yeah.
They would sell out Madison Square Garden.
It's just the lore of it.
They would. They would sell out everywhere.
They would because it's
Their fans get bigger and bigger. Like it's
a lot of
yeah.
punk bands, especially around here, modeled themselves after Operation Ivy.
Yeah, we love what we like it all, man. It's hard to say like any reggae artist or ska artist I don't like. It's like with punk and like metal, I can pick out bands I hate. You know what I mean? So
I hear that. So with the pandemic happening, do you think it became more viable for a local band to make a living?
I think so, because people stopped booking shows, and bars were desperate for booking bands after the pandemic started. After everything started opening up, which was Memorial Day weekend pretty much in Walworth County in 2020. They opened up after 2 months of being shut down, 2.5 months. Lake Geneva wanted to open right away, so we booked our first show New Year's Eve of 2020 at the Old Wisco, and then we kind of just started.
Old Wisco.
Yeah. And there was there was quite a bit of people there, Tim, right? Like 150 people. There was a good crowd.
For your first night? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, I want to say about 150 people.
Damn, you guys got booked for New Year's Eve? That's a good time to
That
be
was our
out
first
there.
show. It was New Year's Eve. And we weren't ready. We were ready, but I was just like, oh my God, within 6 months of playing, we finally got our first show, you know what I mean? So I think, and then we played 21 shows exactly last year. 21. So that's good. That's good for a first year of a band, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And a couple places, not every show is the greatest turnout, but you know what? Now we know which places will. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll stick to those and branch out a little bit.
And you learn, you dip your toe in that water.
Eventually tour. Do you guys plan on touring?
Maybe in the future. Right now, we just rather just focus on being local and be the local band.
Hell
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
That brings me to a good point. Now I know this about you, Uriah. I feel like me knowing you a little bit in just from our workplace and being around each other, I feel like you have a big vision as far as
I do.
As far as where you want to take music.
I want to push this band as far as I want to push it. I don't think I've even told these guys because I think so big, and sometimes I get ahead of myself. I got to think about the baby steps in between things. I wanted to record right away. I wanted to tour. I wanted to play fucking brats. I want to play. I want to do everything all at once. But you really got to take it easy and just kind of let things flow.
Take it easy.
Yeah, take it easy, man. I do. I want the best of the best for whatever we're doing. You know what I mean? So, and I just want everybody to be, in that sense, you know what I mean? So,
where do you guys find the inspiration to come up with these the vibe essentially? I hate to say that word, but
from the beginning, Tim and I just rocked out, dude.
I mean, even me myself, especially bringing in new material, learning new material and stuff. I bring all of what I have learned to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, is how I describe it, and I've played a lot of different genres of music throughout my day, but I also have gotten better at listening to Odd and Outs, record, and then listening to myself play now is a crazy
The progression's
improvement.
nice, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Only because I've gotten better at ska and reggae from just playing other types of music, and really just my mind works a lot differently than a lot of people. Let me just say that for one.
So is mine.
I can break down I have a photographic memory, so I can almost visualize, even for my fills playing live, I visualize the fill before the time comes.
There you go. Step ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And I stay a step ahead of myself a lot. Back in the day when I was playing
as a percussionist,
violin,
that is your language is time. You always got to be essentially
the heartbeat of the
rhythm.
band.
I mean, back in the day playing violin, unfortunately, I couldn't play sheet music anymore. I still can't, only because of my eyes are working faster than these are.
You're reading too fast. Yeah.
Yeah, but also I couldn't. I don't know. I just didn't practice enough in a way.
Right.
You
didn't care about it.
So
That's what
I kind
you
of
drums.
lost that ability, but even for drumming, it's become very natural for me. It just came natural, really. I even tried taking drum lessons at one point, but it was playing sheet music too, and I was just I can't.
Sheet music for drums is so weird too. It's really awkward.
And it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what would that even look like?
It looks like notes, but you're
there's
different drums.
notes, but then there's
The
lines
X's,
that
right?
have circles and X's through them,
There's a hi-hat.
which are all your symbols.
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
Weird, right?
And
Yeah.
actually,
I was wondering
the
what
top
those were
will be
looking like.
hi-hats, and the lows are hi-hats.
I don't remember. I just remember
Tops
the
are
X's.
symbols, exterior symbols, crashes, rides.
I can barely keep in 1/4, or if I were to have to keep a steady beat, I'd go off beat. I can't even do that until.
I also want to add though, Anthony was actually also an Odd and Out too at one time.
Oh wow!
And I was like,
he was our original bass player, but
very
then
little, yeah.
the restaurant, Rigatoni's actually became a little bit more prominent for him, which I didn't hold it against him.
It's funny now he's got more time and he owns the business. But it's like I don't know. He's got more time because. Yeah.
He owns the business. True. Very true.
He's also been planning on getting it for a while. He knew, you know what I mean? So
honestly, this is like the 8th time we've mentioned rigatoni.
Dude, we are a pro
rigatoni
podcast.
We have cannolis at every show. You got to bring the munchies, man. You got to catch that contact time.
He brings an assortment of cookies and cannolis.
Like Italian wedding cookies.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
It's always next to our merch. So if you grab a shirt, dude, grab a cannoli.
But honestly,
shout out Anthony.
Rigatoni's is making me hungry, and my wife
stop it. Chicken
apparently made the most amazing soup tonight.
What kind of soup was it?
God.
Chicken and andouille.
Ooh, andouille.
Andouille sausage.
Yeah.
Hey, pass the andouille to the left hand side.
I just had to do this, guys.
And she actually texted me earlier and said it's probably one of the best soups she's ever made.
Dude, save me some.
So I can't wait to go home and eat that shit.
Oh no,
dude, this is soup season right now.
Yeah, I made soup 3 days ago. Broccoli cheddar cheese with grilled chicken.
Oh, I'm down for all the soups right now, man.
So
dude, some tomato bisque with that grilled cheese, that sharp cheddar, you know, like 7-year hooks.
Boy, you guys getting me pumped for food now.
Should have got some to go food. I got a calzone today at work, so that was cool.
Boys, though, I have to say this on the pod just to get it out there, especially if Anthony's going to be listening to this.
Tony.
Anthony, my man, you got to come on the pod as a representative of Rigatoni's. We love talking food.
Bring Bravazzi.
We love talking music, anything like that. So if you're talking about that thing, by all means, come and advertise, man.
Maybe we'll do a big band session sometime soon. Yeah.
Come join with Tim and Uriah at some point. You know, that'd be awesome.
Right.
You
guys guys need
because we are a very pro Rigatoni's podcast around here. This is like the 8th
Craft
mention
beer,
we've
Italian
given them.
Food and contact us.
That's right.
It sounds like a good time.
It's good shit.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh,
join us, Tony. Join us.
Any closing moments that you guys want to?
I just want to thank everybody that's come out to the shows and all that, and I want to thank the band because, dude, it's just good. It's a couple shows we do have coming up. Our comeback show, we took a winter break, March 4th, Elkhorn Saloon at 9. And we usually have a cool crowd there. A lot of people dance. People get a little drunk and rowdy, which is what we like. It's cool. It's what we're about to. And then March 19th at the Broken Spoke in Genoa City. So for March, those are our next 2 shows coming up.
Fuck yeah. And we're gonna have a set list of some concert dates for them as well on our podcast description. For anybody who wants to find that, we're gonna put that in the description as well.
Cool. Thanks.
Anyways, Tim, I'm sorry I cut you off. You were about to say.
Oh, that's okay. The Brothers Quinn has got some gigs in March too. If you don't
Fuck
mind
yeah,
me
no,
promoting.
absolutely. We'll also I'll get those dates from you, and I'll also post them on the description.
Yeah, I mean, like,
will there be cannolis there?
Unfortunately, no.
Just beer and whiskey.
But there will be plenty of beer wherever we play.
Woo!
Fuck yeah.
Plenty of a good time.
So, especially one I'm looking forward to is March 12th. The Brothers Quinn is participating in a adult big wheel race.
Oh, sweet.
Wow.
Yes. And
I don't even know
what is that
means.
like adults on
like
tricycles?
the big wheels when you were a kid, dude.
Yeah,
Like
like
the plastic
literally,
ones.
big wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
So
the
like,
tricycle
so there's a
ones.
race. There's a race that happens in
Just get wasted and do it.
in West Dundee, Illinois.
Where is that?
And there's a brewery called Emmett's.
Where
All
is
right,
West
so
Dundee?
West
West
Dundee,
Dundee?
if you
I'm
actually
only
took 12,
familiar with Dundee,
if
the
you were
crocodile
taking
hunter.
12, if you were
I
taking
know,
12 towards Chicago,
Crocodile Dundee.
you know how 12 turns left eventually. If after you pass through a town, it turns left.
On the way to Chicago.
Yeah, but there's a straight option as well, and you take that straight option, and it'll almost take you all the way there.
In my household, we call it the Christian option.
So there's a big hill behind this brewery, and people race big wheels down it like around St. Patrick's Day, and it's just
It's probably
a
muddy as
huge
shit
thing.
too.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
With the spring season?
And I'm just super excited for that. St. Patrick's Day is going to be insane. Come see us at O'Reilly and Conway's. Brothers
Fuck yeah.
Quinn.
Brothers Quinn, Contact High.
I have a triple threat that weekend. I have St. Patrick's Day, I have the day after St. Patrick's Day, and then we play the 19th as well.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, Thirsty Parrot too, April 7th.
I gotta make myself out to that bar. They just recently opened up.
It's
right?
all island now, and they want us to play. I only told them one show at a time.
It's all island boys.
Island boys. Yeah, they're cool. They're a cool spot. I've been there. They're nice. The owners are nice.
I think I'm gonna island boy.
I think I'm gonna.
Well, why do you say that about them though? Like, is that like what their food is themed after? Like,
no, they just got the interior of it's like a tiki.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a
style.
tiki bar.
What's their food and drink like?
No idea.
Okay.
I haven't been there since it's been.
I live in Janesville.
Oh, okay. You ever perform with the Looking Glass?
No, but that's my wife and I's favorite
It's a
restaurant.
good spot. Yeah,
Oh,
Is
wow.
that
Hell yeah.
is that in Janesville?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's right. It's
I'm
right
gonna
down
have
the
to
road
make my
from
It's right by Whiskey Ranch
Whiskey
and
Ranch,
Draft
yeah.
House.
Tell me about it. What's its ambiance like? Or,
Looking Glass, they always have different craft beers on tap
rotating tabs
throughout
love
the
that.
United States. They bring up a whole bunch in.
Comedy nights on Monday. Once a month.
Yeah, they do
For
comedy
real?
nights.
Are you gonna go?
But also,
I'd love to
all
go.
of their food,
gotta
me and my
perform.
wife love going there for brunch on Sundays. They usually have a bomb breakfast. But even all of their food I've had there is amazing. Like, and the bartenders, Emma and Joan, and
Shout
the
out.
other bartenders are
We're just
like,
shouting out shout outs
so
all
great.
night.
They're actually so great.
We're appreciative people.
Mm-hmm, yeah. We got to give back to the people.
Yep.
Come on now.
You know,
We should get paid for advertising.
We all like to mess around with them on brunch on Sundays, usually, especially.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm
it's
looking
fun.
for a brunch spot.
Oh God!
Let's go. Well, no, not like.
Well,
with
I'm
you,
telling
but
you.
I want to go.
From
All right, I was signing
from
up.
9
Uriah.
to 2
Double
on
date.
Sundays, the Looking Glass has brunch.
Looking
That's
Glass.
the spot
that's
right there.
Yo,
This last Sunday,
Looking
let me
Glass,
just tell
it's
you,
Alice in Wonderland.
I had a blueberry
tribute.
cheesecake waffle
Ooh.
at the Looking Glass. It was a special they had.
Did you get the blueberry cheesecake
And it
with
was
it? Or
2
with the fucking
waffles
wheat?
with cheesecake
Callback.
filling and blueberry pie filling in between 2 waffles.
There we go.
I think my blood pressure just went up.
Yeah, I don't know if I could even eat
That
that.
could be.
I actually it was so
Uriah,
good,
hand me my
but
insulin.
it was so sweet.
Here.
It was very
Thank you.
sweet and very rich, but
Hey,
God,
you need to
it
treat
was
yourself once in a while, homie. Like, hey, this is the Midwest. You think we're not about
And
treating
let me just
ourselves?
tell you
Like,
something.
come
I
on now.
fucking love breakfast. I don't know about
Yeah,
anybody
breakfast
else.
food's the best, dude.
It is my
Hell yeah.
favorite type
Breakfast
of
food is dessert, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
eggs.
It is my
Eggs
favorite
Benedict.
type of food. If
I
I,
love
could
it.
eat,
And gravy.
if I could eat pancakes and French toast every day,
Belgian waffle
I
with
fucking
berries on it.
would with a side of thick cut Applewood smoked bacon.
Whoa.
America.
That's a hard man's breakfast.
I love me
grits?
some thick bacon.
I know you do. You love the thick bacon.
I love the thick
Thick
bacon.
cut.
Thick with 2 C's.
Deep in juice. What?
And folks, this is a friendly reminder to not only to enjoy a hearty breakfast and enjoy good times, but enjoy good music and good company. Thank you. What's your last name, Tim?
My last name is McQuinn.
McQuinn. Oh, the brothers Quinn.
Duh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Sorry.
the brothers McQuinn sounded weird,
Yeah.
which is why we
It
made
adds
our
an extra
band
syllable.
name the Brothers
Yeah,
Quinn.
Unless you went McQuinn's bro. Or bros. McQuinn bros.
McQuinn Brothers.
Yeah,
Hey,
McQuinn bros.
you
Sounds
don't-
like
you
some
don't
fancy
know.
Irish.
So since the
plumbers.
brothers Quinn has been together 11 years, there's actually been a lot of places we've been where people don't spell your names right or the band's name right. You know what I'm saying? Like, we actually did have one. We walked in and it said the Quinn brothers.
Nice. Because they didn't put sisters.
But then I was like,
The Quinn folks.
okay, like whatever. Maybe it's just
The Quinn
mishap,
family.
But sometimes when you come back, they'll spell it the same way.
Jeez.
Because like everybody's drunk when we meet them, and actually the Brothers Quinn gets booked more now like than ever. So like almost every show, someone will try to book us for something.
That's awesome.
Package
If we
deal
play
right there.
live, people are like, "Dude, we gotta have you. Dude, we gotta have you." But we've become like locally famous at the beer garden in Kenosha for Brothers Quinn. Like people love to come see us there. It's an outside venue, but we're like the only band that comes out from the stage and does acoustic sets.
Nice.
And we've actually done Rage Against the Machine Killing in the Name of Acoustic.
No, wait.
And people go fucking ape shit over it. Let me just
A couple
tell
of
you.
beers in, and you're like, oh my.
Tim,
do what they tell you.
Tim, this brings me to a great question. Is your catalog for the Brothers Quinn out there online anywhere?
Like for
Talking
shows?
about original songs.
I'm saying like, can people find you and like listen to your music online anywhere?
If you go on our Facebook, there is a link to like recordings, but we don't have any live recordings. You can check some of them out on YouTube. Like there's some posted on there.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, we're trying to get better at that. Actually, we just. Brothers Quinn had a band meeting about a month ago, and we just went over a lot. Like,
yeah,
I took over making the Brothers Quinn Facebook events.
Yeah. All right, way to take some initiative there.
Some people hate using Facebook.
Oh, I hate it.
And so I'm just
I
like,
hate it too.
I'm like,
hey, amen, brother.
I'm like, it's okay, but making an event on Facebook
keep it down. This is a pro Zuckerberg podcast.
It doesn't take very long to do.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
it takes like 10 minutes, not even.
Oh yeah.
You gotta ask people.
You know, there's a lot of shit that just needs to,
absolutely. And I mean, this
always need to get better.
Everyone has like a whole life outside of the band as well. Like this isn't most people's full-time
every
gig.
day.
I mean, shit. I wish I could play music every day.
I do it no matter what.
I really do.
I hear you.
But I had to become a career painter instead.
And Uriah. Oh, I didn't get your last name. What's your last name?
Uriah?
I go by Uriah Storm professionally.
Uriah? What did I
professionally
say?
and personally.
You said Uriah.
Like the Naruto?
Yeah.
I think
Uriah. Yeah, you said Uriah.
But it's Uriah. Like with a...
Funny enough you say that. He comes from the Leaf Village.
The Leaf Village.
Colorado.
The
but
Leaf
Uriah.
Village of
Uriah
Hobbiton.
Storm.
Right? Yeah, I don't use any of my mom's or dad's last name.
Okay.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, so I just made up my own name.
Definitely check out Uriah with Contact Eye and any other ventures out there.
No, just not right now. I just want to tell the next local shows, and people can just follow us on Facebook. They can find out when we have our shows coming up. Mm-hmm. So
catch him and some fresh cannolis.
Yeah, there you go. Now. Bought some fresh blunts.
Woo! Thank you, folks, for joining us, and this has been another exciting episode of Bro Taste This.
Enjoy some more sounds of Contact High here coming up.
Coming in hot, hot, hot. Firing some shot, shot, shot. Come on in red hot, hot, hot. It's a musical shot, shot, shot. I just really like the music. I just learned me better. And I got me hammer, 'cause I'm gonna pull that trigger so hot, hot, hot. Fire in some shot, shot, shot. Come on in red hot, hot, hot. It's a musical shot, shot, shot.